We're here. It's 2017. It's a real show. It's not a countdown best of 2016 show. This is genuinely and truly the first real, bona fide, authentic program of 2017. And there's so much to talk about. I tuned out on politics for a little bit at the end of our particularly towards the beginning of our vacation there. I'll talk about the vacation. Pat will talk about his wild and amazing road trip adventure on the bonus show, but there is too much going on in politics to delve into that right now. First of all, President Obama imposing additional sanctions on Russia, of course, over the alleged interference with the United States election as per the FBI and CIA's agreement. Russian President Vladimir Putin responded by refraining from any reciprocal retaliatory action. Now, the right-wingers have gone bonkers, saying, wow, look at Putin's restraint. Look at how skilled Putin is here tactically with politics. Now, yes, we know that Vladimir Putin is very, very skilled politically, but you have to remember, you need a reason to take action against diplomats that are in your country. And it's sort of a red herring to say, look at Putin not doing anything. If Putin were to say, well, just because the United States is impacting our diplomats over alleged hacking, we are going to do something capricious and arbitrary to retaliate, that would be seen incredibly negatively. So I think Vladimir Putin understanding that he has no real reason to take reciprocal retaliatory action. So back to the main storyline. President Obama outgoing, President Donald Trump incoming. How does Donald Trump react to the action by President Obama against Russia? By praising Vladimir Putin as very smart, as he did on Twitter. Donald Trump saying, great move on delay by Vladimir Putin. I always knew he was very smart. And of course, retweeted and liked and favorited tens of thousands of times. Trump also posting the tweet as a graphic on Instagram. Trump went out of his way, Pat, to ensure that as many people as possible saw that he finds Vladimir Putin to be a really smart guy.
Yeah, it really makes you question where Donald Trump's allegiance is to. I mean, I understand Donald Trump and Barack Obama are from different parties, but
Yes.
you think you would take the current president of the United States over a foreign dictator like Vladimir Putin?
I think that when you break it down to its component parts, you come to that very quickly. The reaction from some has been, hey, we don't actually have proof that Russia hacked. Okay, but then Trump saying Putin's really smart after the current president sanctions him is very, very disconnected from whether or not you believe the FBI and CIA about Russian hacking. Others are saying, you know, Vladimir Putin's not really that bad. And I think Pat bottom lined it for us pretty clearly. If we distill the main point, the president-elect is siding with the recently sanctioned foreign dictator over the president of the United States, but not just any foreign dictator, rather one accused of interfering in our election and one that was called by the last Republican nominee, Mitt Romney, our greatest geopolitical foe, a sentiment that at the time Republicans basically agreed with. And now all of a sudden this entire Russia thing is no big deal. Now, shortly after this, Pat, questions about whether this was a treasonous act by President-elect Trump started circulating on social media, I guess loosely defining treason as betraying one's country. I think treason is actually going too far here, particularly when we know there's going to be much, much worse during the next 4 years of Trump. I don't want to get into the boy who cried wolf scenario. I don't believe that this was treason. I think that this is a serious confusion about what are the priorities of the United States, what is in the best interest of the United States, and foreign countries allegedly interfering in our elections is not in our best interests.
Yeah, I don't think of it as treason, but it certainly is odd that he just continues to praise Vladimir Putin time and time again.
Oh, yeah.
You have to wonder if he has some sort of leverage over Trump and has some information about him that he's keeping private for now.
It's super interesting to watch this develop. And then the more that we see the buddy stuff with the Trump transition administration, Trump transition team and Russia, the more I'm wondering, what is the truth behind the scenes? Tax returns are a big part of this that could shed light onto what's going on. I'm going to talk about that in a little bit. When all of this was happening, I was in London for the end of the year break. Real confusion over there. I mean, here we're rationalizing what happened in one way. Over there, it's just like, what on earth is wrong with people in the United States? How did this guy get elected?
Right. Don't you put your own country before other countries? I thought that was this whole thing, America first.
Yeah, flabbergasted. People just don't, and people I met would ask me to explain it to them, and I sort of give them an analysis where you already have to understand how nuts things are here. Otherwise, even my analysis is not going to make sense to the average European person. Thanks for watching this video. Before you watch the next one, remember, we're raising money to expand the David Pakman Show Big League, as well as expand progressive activism. Go to davidpakman.com/donate. Donations of any size are much appreciated.